Linda Kenworthy is a friend of mine. She was diagnosed with ALS approximately 5 years ago, and we had actually gone on a mission trip together when she first started getting the symptoms, and she didn't know what it was. I spent a lot of time with her, and I was just over at her house one day, and her husband had made her this little foam thing to sit on her lap to hold all of the things that she likes to have during the day. And I just kind of made the comment to him, hey, you know, I could probably 3D print that. And that just kind of started the whole thing.
Well, originally Linda wanted something that she could hold stuff on her lap, and so I had this foam that I had purchased for her to stretch, and so I just started whittling on it and cutting on it. The first one, this is the second one that was made, but the first one is smaller and it looks terrible. It's really all cut up. This one actually looks a little better, but the ones they have in there even look better than this one. But that was how the idea originated, was she wanted to be able to hold her stuff. And so she kind of told me one day, hey, can you do something to where I can hold some stuff? And so that's where the original idea started.
So at one of our meetings that we had at school for the beginning of the year, I talked to Joe Penites, and found out he was teaching the same engineering class that I was teaching, and so we just kind of put our heads together and decided that maybe we could get our students to use the engineering design process, and through teaching them that process, then we could have them work on this project and come up with a design that could not only help Linda, but also other patients that have ALS.
A couple robotic students are going to take your designs and work with you, work with the winning team, and they're going to come up with a final CAD design and an STL file so that we can print it out on our 3D printers.
Linda's Laptote project was a project that 2 schools participated in. You had Atascocita High School and Kingwood Park High School. The engineering classes, we came together to create a real-world solution. We wanted to make her life a little bit better through this project. And so what it specifically we're talking about here is Linda, she has all these little things that she needs to use every day. She has chapstick, she's got glasses, a back scratcher, or her red eye button, all these things that need to be close so that she can reach them reach them every day while she's confined to her wheelchair. So the kids in our program were challenged to create a solution for Linda and for other ALS patients, anybody else that wanted to get their hands on this thing. We want to make something that matters, something that counts, something that's real world. And Humble ISD students made that solution. They made the Linda's Laptote project. It took about a month, and there was teams of 3, and all the teams had to come up with their plan and their drawings, and they had to come up with rough drafts and final drafts, and they had to come up with a model. So we actually got a bunch of judges, including Linda and her husband, and some administrative people from Humble ISD. They all came together here in my classroom, and they looked at all the different projects, they graded them, and they determined a winner. It was a team out of Atascocita High School that created the best solution.
I think it's incredible. You know, there's been a lot of thought put into this project. There's been a lot of these kids that are really, really working on it, and it's really impressive. It almost brought me to tears over there while we were looking at all the projects. This is something that she'll be able to use until the end of time, you know, and then there's other people that will be able to use it also. It's adaptable. Other people with ALS, there's even other diseases that are neurological that this will be able to be used for, and people will get a benefit out of it for the rest of their lives.
How does this project give kids real life experience and prepare them for the real world, the way things are really happening? Well, we just completed a real world thing. We just went through the process that engineers use every day to solve problems. You know, people have to get together and work in teams to solve problems, and they would sometimes have to work with people that they don't know so well, and they may be different. Well, that's what our kids had to do. They had to understand a problem and work on something that is a real world problem, not hypothetical. This is the real deal. and they had to use the engineering design process. They had to use the same techniques that real engineers use out there in the field. And we actually did consult with quite a few engineers, and Mr. Cobb, who's an engineer over at our school at Atascocita, and he was giving us guidance and trying to make sure that kids, whenever they graduate from high school, that there's no shock as to how it really is, because you've been doing it. You've been doing it here in Humble ISD, and you've got a firm grip on what the reality is.
Linda's a legacy anyway, so she's leaving behind a legacy. Linda was a coach in Humble ISD for many years, an elementary coach. And she's the type of person that when you go anywhere, everybody knows her. And so she's just got a huge personality and always has a smile on her face. So she will always leave that legacy, I think, behind. But I think through the project, it really is helping to raise awareness of ALS, and that, I know that's really important to Linda and her family, that others know about the disease and do what they can to contribute.
She's a different person. She used to be so active, playing sports, always on the go, and to see her in the situation that we're in now, it's depressing and sad. We still have joy, we're faithful with God, and that's pulled us through a lot of this. But it's a struggle day by day. Thank you is not enough. It's just incredible. The care and the concern they put in is, I can't put it into words. It's really impressive.
It means the world to me. I love the awareness it's created. Thank you for helping me, and God bless you. I love you.